Manchester is probably one of the most thriving, vibrant cities in the whole of Europe. You've got two of the greatest football teams in the world, Manchester United and Manchester City. The BBC have moved into Media City, which is in Salford. You've got one of the biggest universities where we house 130,000 students.
The city centre has been going through a growth spurt for the past 6 or 7 years. What we're seeing now is, especially with our developments and some others, is that the quality that you see in the city centre is now actually being delivered in and around the Salford areas.
I think anybody that's in the Manchester market can see the phenomenal boom that we're experiencing right now. The city is growing with new developments, new commercial centres, new residential centres. The population is growing.
Between 2008 and 2014, we built very little residential properties within the Manchester and Salford city centre market. What that's led to is a lack of supply for the demand, which has been surging forward, leading to rents being pushed up to levels that we've not experienced in the city.
They've seen that the city centre needs to spread to keep up with the population growth and the demand that's happening in the city at the moment, and that natural spread is Salford.
Not just a building of 1 or 2 apartments, but whole new neighbourhoods, which will be seen as part of the neighbourhood city centre. The most impressive thing about Manchester is the local authority and how progressive they are in making sure that they have a cohesive spatial plan to allow for that investment in residential property to make it a better place for people to live and a more safer place to live, rather than being one of the key corridors for traffic.
There's a lot of commercial going up around there, there's a lot of new businesses opening up, some high-class restaurants, some lovely little coffee shops. It's being what they call gentrified now. Perfect melting pot for investors to get in now, get early, buy at the low prices, get the tenants in and take advantage of the capital growth over the next 4 to 5 years.
There's a residential rental revolution going on in the UK. We thought there was a better benchmark we could have looking at the international markets. We looked at some of the leading schemes in New York and Philadelphia, spoke to the on-site property teams and spoke to residents about what they wanted.
The ambitions of Salford Crescent really are to create a really high benchmark for Salford that connects to the kind of spaces such as Salford Meadows to create a real sense of place and a real kind of heart of Salford.
Scale and quality of the Crescent development has never been seen before in that area. It's going to create a fantastic, exciting, vibrant hub of residential and commercial.
We try to create something special for the actual end user, for the tenant. You know, we talk about generation rent. They don't want to live in an old apartment, an old unit that hasn't been specifically designed for their purposes and for their uses. You know, our schemes have got cinema rooms, they've got yoga rooms, they've got amenity and facility that the youth of today want to use and will use, and brings them closer together as a community.
There are kind of external spaces and internal spaces. There's kind of a public space at the heart really of the development between the two buildings, which allows the public to use and will be animated with cafes and hopefully restaurants. Private terrace that kind of sits on top of a podium, which is for use of the residents. Amazing expansive views across the city. Cinema rooms, a laundrette, which we see really as this kind of lounge. There's a really large, impressive hotel-esque reception space.
The quality of all the facilities are going to be absolutely different level to anything else that has been put up in Manchester.
I like the phrase, your lounge extends past your front door, and that's what we've tried to do. The other aspect as well as well-being and fitness, what we are providing is an absolutely top of the range leisure facility with both wet leisure with an indoor pool and spa, as well as an area where not only you can work out, but you can have yoga sessions or fitness or boot camps. The apartments themselves are spacious. There's a good array of design.
Single occupiers, double occupiers. All of our apartments are designed with a democratic bedroom setup so that both bedrooms have an ensuite bathroom within them. It's important that we keep the materials and the building in the style of the local environment. So we decided to go for a handmade brick, which on that size and scale of development is quite novel, it's brave, it's unique. We're doing that because we want to respect the area environment that the Crescent's in and give that extra quality.
We're allowing as much natural light into the apartments as we possibly can. You've got floor to ceiling windows right throughout the development. You've got balconies where we believe balconies will be used.
The provision of that on-site service, so every minute of the day you're cared for and you've got somebody on site to meet your needs, whether that's the customer care team and our resident services team, whether that's the communal cleaning and housekeeping function, or whether that's the on-site maintenance team. So if something breaks in your apartment, you're not waiting for days or weeks for a landlord to give you the okay for it to be fixed. It will be dealt with within hours. So we'll have a 24-hour concierge service, which will handle all of the parcels and deliveries.
With all the amenity that you have and everything being on your doorstep and a concierge kind of call away, I think there'll be a real difficulty leaving the door.
Connections are fantastic. We have one of the greatest airports in the world. 1 hour 45 minutes away from London. The tram systems, it's a 3-minute walk into the city centre of Manchester. It's got everything going for it, so much so that I'll be selling some, but I will also be keeping a large part of it for my own family. That's why I think that you should put your money into it, because I'm leaving my money into it and my family's money. It is a great investment.
It's just exciting, you know. I'm hoping that, you know, we see at least another 15 to 20 years of development, seeing our city grow into a major force in the world.